Hello everyone, IELTS ACME here, and in this tutorial we're going to discover how to define major keywords by which we are instantly able to scan them right in the passage without wasting much time, and consequently we are able to answer the given question in the shortest time as possible. So what you need to do is nothing hard, just carry out this simplest step that we're going to go through it today properly, and then it will save you a whole lot of time, and not only to cover all 40 questions in that given time, but also it will save your energy for the remainder of the exam. Well, what do I mean? Simply because if you don't perform as you expected in the exam, you'd feel so frustrated that chances are you'd keep thinking on missing out those questions that you were able to handle. Well, it goes without saying, the ultimate result is painful and agonizing. Therefore, if you have such issues, it would be better to stay with us until the very end of this video to get it solved and resolved for once and for all. Although, in this video, I'm not intended to answer the questions, but rather the biggest takeaway from this video would only be focused on how to define major and important keywords. Now, without further ado and enough of intro, let's get right into it. Now, here I want to start right from the scratch and make an analogy for you. Well, of course, if you remember in the school time, you may have been asked to differentiate the objects in group simply by comparing the not identical object. Well, the same goes here. We are not focused on every single object or every word in our case, but we are focused on taking the fish. Now, fish is a good example of a word that we're going to look for, that we're going to scan exactly in the text, in the passage, to find the right place, to find the right address, and not to get lost in the passage. Now, the question is, which words can be keywords, or better to say, what kind of words should we take into consideration while we're going to scan them in the text? Well, when it comes to scanning, the best keywords that you can look for are numbers or figures, because they are easy to spot in the passage. The next item, well, is about dates and years, where numbers or figures, date and years, they have one thing in common: they are all numbers. And capitalized or italicized words or phrases, and then locations like towns, cities, states, countries, and names like places, scientist name, and verbs and nouns. Well, this one, of course, although it is the last but not least, because this is what I myself really have my full focus, full attention on this part: verbs and the subjects, or verbs and nouns, and especially compound nouns, because they are long phrases and they are easy to spot in the passage. Well, all in all, I can tell you keywords are the words that carry a specific information, so they should stand out like that fish, the example I made for you just a minute ago. Well, let's go and define each one of these criteria in much detail with examples for you to have better understanding of the whole process. Well, about numbers or figures, we have a example of yes, no, not given, and in this question, as you can see, 2% of Americans already use biodiesel. You can see there is a number. It is notably initiated with number, and that is, of course, in the form of percentage. Well, try to find this percentage, this 2%, in this first paragraph. You can as well give it a pause in order to find it. And if you did, well, it is, of course, at the end of this paragraph, and it is a little different. The percentage is written in the form of letters, and what should we do next is to compare the question, the subject, and the verb, and of course the associated subject and the verb in this sentence. Which sentence? A sentence that major keyword lies within. Now we should just go a little backward in order to find the period. So here we go until although, I think, because diesel period, and then although is going to start the sentence. Although one could make a similar appraisal for the amount of sugar-derived ethanol needed to meet our needs, it is unlikely that drivers would ever want to fill up their tanks entirely with ethanol. So as you can see, there are no Americans involved in the sentence. Even the following sentence doesn't include anything related to the Americans as the subject of the sentence. Americans use biodiesel. Americans as the subject, and of course use is the verb, and of course the object, which is the biodiesel. You can see biodiesel, biofuels, or something like that, but it doesn't actually reflect the same meaning and the same concept. If it is so, well, this actually is not given. That means the Americans is not involved in the sentence, so the answer should be not given. Well, about the next question, the same rule of thumb applies here, and clearly it includes a number or figure, and that is of course 400 million acres. It should not be a very hard job to find this all clear and conspicuous keyword in the following paragraph. You can as well give this video a pause to find this, but make sure it takes you only a few seconds. If it takes more than just seconds, you should keep practicing the scanning process until you reach a satisfactory record. Remember, don't go over the whole question and try to underline every single word and then define lots of keywords, and of course understand what the question requires you to answer well. Of course, our ultimate job is to answer the question, but before we do any of these wrong things to waste more time, it is better to locate your place in the passage, and then after finding the right place, we can go back one more time to the question and compare the subject and the verb, and of course other elements. Now, if you found 400 million acres, it is right here at the bottom left corner of the paragraph. Now, what should we do next is to read this sentence, which includes 400 million acres. This sentence, of course, when you go back until you reach a full period, is exactly right here. And now you can say that, well, our major keyword is found. Now I have to read only this area to find my answer. But when you start reading the sentence, which starts with demonstrative, and demonstratives are, grammatically speaking, are this, these, that, those. When you come across these kind of demonstratives, your job is to draw a little arrow, meaning that maybe the preceding sentence stands accused of holding the answer if this sentence is not giving you the right answer. I have to go read the sentence which actually is before this full period. But for now, let's read the sentence. This number is seizable fraction of total US land area and considerably more than 400 million acres currently under cultivation. Now it's time to go back one more time to the question, of course, and try to underline some of the keywords. Well, America is going to be my first keyword, and then used as a verb, land are used, I can draw it in a different color. And then agriculture, of course, is also an important because it's noun. Nouns, verbs, and of course, special names, America, numbers. These are the keywords that can actually guide you to have a right answer. Let's now go one by one and compare these keywords to the corresponding keywords in the text. Now, America actually matches with the US. Well, total US land area, land. And considerably more than 400 million acres. Yes, we found it. Currently, well, that means the same in meaning as currently and at present. And agriculture is the same as cultivation. Now, when you compare the sentence with the question, at present in America, 400 million acres of land are used for agriculture, it is exactly reflecting the same meaning. This number is seizable fraction of total US land use and considerably more than 400 million acres currently under cultivation. Of course, it is giving us more information like more than 400 million acres, but that's not going to contradict with the question. So obviously it's not going to be no, and the answer is given. So all clear. The answer is nothing but yes. Let me clear all these lines and scribblings. And then if you want to find this test and have a further look at the test, here I recommend you this fantastic book, Vocabulary for IELTS, written by Powell and Cullen, designed not only for boosting your vocabulary, but also you can find lots of reading as well as listening sources along with key answers that come with explanations and elaborations suitable for some of the students who are willing to have a self-study. Alright, let's go to the next slide. And here, as you can see, dates and years yet again appear in the form of numbers. In this test, the study conducted in 1977 revealed a possible reason why. As you can see, it's a multiple type question. And here we have to find our major keyword, which is 1977, right in the passage. Now, you can give this video a pause and within just seconds try to find and locate 1977. Now, if you found it, it is right here. Now, so far, we are successful enough to locate our place in this passage. It's a great success, of course, because you don't need to wander around just up and down, back and forth, and sometimes it is so much overwhelming to go rummaging around the answer, but chances are you don't come across with the right answer. Having said this, let's go and find the other keywords. The study conducted revealed a possible reason why. Now, we're going to go for what? For reason, of course. The reason. And this is a study conducted. Well, in 1977, yes, the study, human volunteers pricked themselves with quills from hedgehogs. Well, back to the question. What do we see? We see all these four options. And now they have the subject as the hedgehog. All the subjects are hedgehogs. Hedgehogs again, and hedgehogs again. Apparently, they're going to do something. But see, they have different verbs. Clean, chew, do not leap, make a high-pitched noise. Luckily, all these verbs are way too different, so your job wouldn't be hard in answering this question. Now, you have to find this subject along with this verb in order to answer this question. Human volunteers prick themselves with quills from hedgehogs. Yes, I found it. I found my subject that had coated themselves after chewing on. Now, see, I found the verb exactly matches with chew. Chewing on venomous toad-skin. Chewing venomous or chew poisonous. Venomous, poisonous. Synonyms are one of the key and crucial part of finding the right answer. I will prepare another video about synonyms, how to find synonyms. They're not very hard. Well, poisonous, animal skins, and we have toad skins. Well, toad is a kind of animal and matches with animal, perfectly matches with animal, and skins, same exact word. Now, our answer for this question is going to be B. Well, if you want to study this further, again, you can prepare this book, Vocabulary for IELTS, either in PDF format or hard copy for your arsenal. Well, let me clean all of these lines and scribblings. Alright, let's now move on to the next slide. Now in this slide, we're going to study the next item about the major keywords, which are easy to find in the passage. And that is, of course, about capital and locations. Well, obviously towns, city names, states, and countries are very easy to find in the text. Let's go and see how it actually goes. The question is true, false, not given type. Well, we don't care what kind of question is going to be, but what we care most about is the keyword. Well, if you look at the question number 7, it doesn't include anything related to capital or locations. Well, I always recommend my students to go over the easy questions first. Well, here I see question number 8. It initiates with capital and, of course, locations. Well, this question is very easy to answer. By answering this question first, well, you can isolate this question 7 if you found the answer for question 8 in, say, paragraph 2. Well, obviously, the answer for question number 7 is going to be about in paragraph 1, because true, false, not given question type is also having the order. Now, this is the text. Try to find FIFA in the following text, in the following passage. Well, as I said, it should not take you more than just seconds. And if you found it, if you were successful to find it, it is exactly right in the beginning of the paragraph, FIFA. And of course, try to find South Africa, because this reading, it can include lots of FIFA names, so not all the FIFAs are going to be my target. The FIFA for this question is having South Africa, so I should find South Africa along with FIFA to say that I have come to a right address in the passage. Well, it is right here, South Africa, in the same sentence, if you see it. And full period is here. The sentence, for example, is started from here. The sentence started from here, for example, and off it goes until we reach another full period. So FIFA is in the same sentence of South Africa. Now the time is to study more this sentence with lots of care, and then compare other elements in the question and those corresponding keywords with the text. FIFA earned more from marketing than from broadcasting rights to the FIFA World Cup in South Africa. So earned is the verb. Let me underline it with blue. Earned. More from marketing. So we have marketing, which is a noun, and broadcasting, again, another noun. Now we have to compare these, but remember, South Africa and FIFA, they are major keywords just to do what? To locate our place in the passage and not to get lost. Well, now the time is to compare the other elements, as I said. Earned, well, earned is here. Earned this much $1 million, US dollars, from sale of television rights to the FIFA World Cup in South Africa, and this much money in marketing. So marketing is here. Okay, matches with marketing. And broadcasting, of course, it is right here, television rights. If you read it thoroughly, you would find out that the money for television right is bigger than the money for marketing. So the answer is going to be false because it disagrees with the information in the passage. Well, in order to read this passage, you can go to this book, Reading for IELTS, with answer key 6 to 7.5, with great deal of hints to improve your reading skills. Alright, let's have a look at another type of keywords which are yet very helpful, and they are capitalized or italicized words or phrases. And as you can see, there we have the text on the right hand side, and of course the questions on the left hand side. And the question is of a short answer question type, and we're going to answer these two first questions of this test. And if you have a look at this first question, what does it say? It says, what kind of purpose did Intuhuatna serve? Intuhuatna is an italicized word, and I don't think it should be very hard to find it in this passage. It is long word, and of course it is italicized word. Your eyes should be very sharp in finding these kind of words. Give your eyes lots of practice in scanning. Well, if you found it in the passage, it is right here in Tehuatna. Now, see, I didn't read the question or anything about the passage, but what I did instead, I picked out very clear keyword which is way easier to find it in the text. Now, when the major keyword is found in the text, my next job is to move back in the sentence until I reach a full period. And then, of course, I follow this major keyword until I reach next full period. So this sentence involves my major keyword, and then it's enough for me to read only this area to find the right answer. You don't need to just go upward or downward looking for the answer. This is a very important job. Try to find your location in the passage. Okay, this is the first thing that you should do when you come to answer the question. Well, I go one more time back to the question and read it a little bit thoroughly to find what other keywords lie there, and then just compare those corresponding keywords with the text. Now it says, what kind of purpose did intuhuatna serve? This is, of course, the verb serve. Now, I'm just going to find the purpose of this intuhuatna. Now, back to the text one more time to read it. Just northwest of this building is situated the principal temple with intuhuatna, and in parentheses, as you can see, it has written the meaning of the word intuhuatna, the sun's hitching stone. So it's kind of a stone at the top of a flight of steps beyond the temple. The purpose? Okay. As you can see, well, we have to read a little further to find the answer. Why? Because it is talking about the purpose. The purpose of this stone was principally astronomical. So, all clear. The answer is principally astronomical. It has told us not to write more than 3. So, of course, be careful about that. And if you even write principally astronomical, it is all okay. Now, moving on to the next question, we see which area is found on the east side of the main lawn. Now, my major keyword is a capital keyword. Before even trying to underline lots of keywords, wasting a lot of time, I go to find main lawn in the text. So main lawn is highlighted in green, as you can see. Now I go to find main lawn. Give this video a pause and try to find main lawn in the text. And if you did, there we have it, main lawn. Main lawn stand 3 temples. Well, if you even read further, you would see some other main lawns. Unfortunately, it's not going to be the only main lawn. So again, another main lawn here, one more here we have it. So as you can see, there are 4 main lawns. So which main lawn? It didn't really help me this time. I have to find another keyword which come in handy and help me in great deal to find which main lawn I should study to find the right answer. It says which area is found on the east. So let me clean all of those lines and work only on this question. So east, we have it here, east side. Now I have to find that keyword which is on the east side of the main lawn. And remember, of is very important because it is connecting 2 words together. And well, main lawn and east side. Let's go one more time to the text. And if you study here, you would see that it is west of the mainland. So obviously, this is not my target. How about the next one, mainland? I have to read from here, from the full period. This three-walled structure commands a spectacular view down across the main lawn to the mountain peaks in the east. But don't fall into the trap. It's not, this east has nothing to do with the main lawn. The mountain peaks in the east. So mountain peaks are in the east, not the main lawn. Well, this main lawn is also not what I am after and not what I want. Let's go to the next one. Main lawn. I have to read from where? From this full period. Other notable locations at Machu Picchu are the Royal Sector, which is situated on the same level as the main lawn to the south, and just east of Query. So east is nothing to do with the lawn again. East is related to Query, as I told you. Remember, of connects two words together. So this main lawn, yet again, is not going to give me the right answer. I have to find another one. Well, I have the last one at the southeast corner of the main lawn. I have the of, but this is southeast of main lawn, not only the east. Well, unfortunately, this last main lawn does not involve the right answer. So what should I do? Sometimes, well, some of the questions are hard. If you study a little bit more, you would see the capital letter main lawn just in the middle of the paragraph, lawn. And there we have the east. There we have the east. East of the lawn. East of the lawn, and on the same level, are the rooms of common district, where the workers who worked after the complex for emperor lived. Well, rooms of what? Common district. So we have to write rooms of common district, but in order not to exceed the word limit, you have to write common district, which is also in capital 4. Well, I hope you learned something. Let me clean all of these lines and arrows. Well, this test is extracted from this lovely book, Improve Your Skills, Reading for IELTS, designed for 4.5 to 6. Includes lots of reading sources, not only with answers, key answers, but also with explanations for some of you who are willing to have a self-study. And of course, lots of hints and strategies for the reading, of course. Well, let's go to the last slide. And this is, of course, about names, verbs, and nouns. Well, names are also very important, and they are very easy to find. Here we have the question, complete the summary, is a summary type question, and the name that we're going to find in the text, which is a scientist name, it's Cain Hale. Cain Hale discovered his blank to learn languages early and made learning languages his profession. Well, Cain Hale obviously is going to be repeated throughout this passage, throughout the reading, lots and lots of times, so it might not be very helpful, like the main lawn that I showed you in the passage. So what should you do next? is to find the verb or another noun which comes along with this main and major keyword for you to be able to find the exact place of the reading. Well, cane hail is exactly right here. Why this cane hail? Because discovered comes exactly right in the sentence, comes along with this cane hail. Late professor of linguistics, and he discovered his language learning ability early. Now remember, when you see the blanks, it's very important for you to draw two arrows, one to the left and of course one to the right. Discovered his language learning ability early. So something that has to do with the learn language early. So what is it? It's obviously ability. And of course, we have it here. And then there we go to the next sentence. The focus of the Professor Hale's research was on finding, again, draw an arrow, one to the left and one to the right. Sometimes, the keywords on the left are not very helpful for you to find the right location of the answer. But of course, I have experienced that some of the keywords which are on the right hand side of the keyword are very helpful, because see, we normally know that summary completion type of question has order, which means if the answer for question number 1 is right here, so you expect the answer for the next question lies somewhere around here, yeah? Not so far away. But sometimes chances are that you spend lots of time reading this area without knowing that the answer lies in the next paragraph. So what should you do in that time? Well, let me find the focus of Professor Hale's research. Because, see, Professor Hale's is also going to be repeated, as I said, throughout the text. But principles applying to all languages. I want to find the all languages. Okay, let me clean again all of those lines and arrows and just have our full focus on this part. All languages. And if you go to find all languages, you would come across here, all languages. See? And now if you just find the keywords on the left, and of course, as I said, the keywords on the right, some of the keywords like focus is very important, and of course finding. Now let's go back to find the focus. Professor Hale, yeah, Professor Hale, exactly, Professor Hale. So examined the language he knew, looking for, that means on finding, that might lead to discovery of the of law applicable to all languages. And here we have what? Looking for, that means finding. Let me just draw it in different color. So looking for, that means finding. Looking for what? Shared characteristics. Now, shared characteristics is going to be the right answer. And here we don't have such a word. Okay, so what should we do? We have to find a similar word that matches best with these given words. Shared characteristics, and it's not going to be ability because ability is gone. Preserve absolutely is not the synonym of shared characteristics. Disappear, well, is not the same meaning as shared characteristics. And obviously, extensively is not also shared characteristics. And here we have only universal. Universal is somehow the same meaning as shared characteristics. Well, you found the answer. Now you write it universal here. Universal principles applying to all languages. When you just put it in the blank, read it one more time to see, to check that does it make sense or not. Well, I think we're done with this tutorial. I hope you found it useful and learned something. And if you did, and if you found yourself watching till the very end of this video, I'd be really thankful if you hit the subscribe button, as well as give it a thumbs up, and you can as well turn on the bell icon in order to be informed as soon as I release a new video. Thank you for watching.